If you're looking for a leather skin for your MacBook, then this is it. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. So I have my MacBook Air M2 2022 model. This is in midnight here. It's kind of more of a blackish blue, which I really love. But there's a couple problems with this. This particular color shows fingerprints like no other. In fact, as I'm putting this on, I don't have any gloves. I'm definitely going to put some fingerprints on this, even though I have done my darndest to get the fingerprints off. The other thing that I really don't like about the MacBook is the fact that the aluminum chassis here is a double-edged sword. So it looks beautiful. It feels great in the hand. But if you bang it up against something, it's going to scratch, it's going to dent, and I definitely have seen some pretty beat up MacBooks in my day. Now, what I wanted to do here was put on some protection. Now, you can get a vinyl decal and put that on there, but it doesn't really provide protection. Maybe a little bit against scratching, but certainly not denting. Something like leather would provide scratching protection, but also provide a little bit more of a dent protection. You know, the small impacts from stuff, maybe the quick brush against the counter, you know, putting a glass down on it or something like that. Leather like this from Glitty is a beautiful decal here, but it is actually made of leather, and you can see it right there, maybe 1.5 millimeters thick, so you can see the grain of the leather. It's not a burnished or finished edge, which is just fine. It does come in 4 different colors. Now, I actually wanted this color because it is kind of this brown. It almost looks like these 2x4s right here, but it's kind of this brown tan. This is just a little bit of gunk on there. I can clean that off. And what we get is a top and the bottom. Now, actually, I was really intrigued because D brand, a very popular brand for skins for MacBooks, also makes a leather cover, but they only make it for the top as far as I could tell, not one for the bottom. And I really wanted the aluminum on the bottom, which is also prone to getting banged up, especially when you're putting it down. Maybe you put it on something, hit the edge of the table. I think the bottom is actually more prone to getting scuffed up, dinged up, those types of things than the top in some cases, especially now as I put this into my backpack and there can be things in there, chargers. I just don't want any unnecessary wear, and I want to make it look a little nicer. And also, I just thought putting a skin on it too, especially leather, might just make it a little softer in the noise department if I put it down on a table, conference table, desk, those types of things as well. So anyway, what I have here is the top, and it's all laser cut, as you can see. We even have a cutout for the logo, and that is fully cut through there. Hello, I'm fully cut. There's a worm in my apple. And then we have the bottom here, which has full cutouts right here for the feet. So we've got 4 of those. All right, I want to start on the top because I think that is the money shot for you. And I want to apply this sucker. Now I'm just going to dry fit it first because I just want to see how much space I'm working with here. And I will tell you, if you use that center logo as a centering piece, that will be pretty close. And there really is no space on the edge. I mean, if you are 0.5 millimeter towards all the edges, I think that's exactly what you want. Now, I will also tell you that my philosophy on putting these on is to kind of take off the backing here, but not completely. As you can see, we have sticky backing, and a lot of times what I will do is I will fold this so it is as flat as possible, and then I will line everything up here, and then I will use one corner to kind of anchor this down, and then pull away the backing. That often works, but it's not a guarantee. Now, guarantee, but I'm just going to go ahead and put that down just like that. And now what I'm going to do is pull this away and kind of roll this out. Having air bubbles in here is not the biggest deal because you can't see them because of the texture. I definitely love the texture of this leather. I love the smell of it. I love the feel of leather. I wrap myself in leather. In fact, my body has its own leather. It's called skin. And I definitely wouldn't live without my skin because my skin is almost super important to me. So, man, that was real time. And as you can see, that is a tight fit, just like my underwear. Which is why I speak in a high voice. And so that looks amazing. All right, let's see if we can do the same on the back here. And there's those fingerprints that always come up and haunt me. If I just, again, dry fit this right around the feet here, those will work very well for indexing. And again, I will have more space here. In fact, you can't go all the way up to the edge because you have that hinge right there. So I am just going to go ahead and, again, the same thing here. And actually, even though I could clean off that smudge that I just showed you right here, and I might do that, I really don't care what the back looks like. Now, I am kind of curious if the feet touch the table when I put this on there. It seems like they are very close. I mean, again, okay, I will tell you that the feet are still higher than the leather, so the leather probably won't actually touch whatever you're sitting it on specifically. Okay, so I'm going to put down this corner just like that. Same deal here. I'm going to grab this, and we're going to go ahead and see how well this strategy works. Again, I mean, it looks pretty good. Yes, I am indeed a genius, or this is the same way everyone applies their skins. So what you can see there is it's a perfect fit around there, and if I go to all these other feet, man, that is a perfect fit. I don't know that I've ever applied anything ever better than this. A little more gap on the edges there, but what I love about this, and it might be hard to see, but if I go in on that foot, you can see it is just the slightest bit taller than the leather. So I'm sure there's some intention there, but it's just kind of nice because the leather is thin enough to not interfere or sacrifice the grippiness that you will get with the feet. So if I were to put that back down on the table like this, yep, the feet are what's gripping. So man, that looks good. And look at this, it's kind of like tan and blue. Looks beautiful. It's not blue and maize like the University of Michigan colors, thankfully, otherwise I wouldn't do this. But man, this D brand, oh, my mistake. This Glitty leather skin for the MacBook Air, brand new, I actually had to pre-order it, is fantastic. I absolutely love it. Maybe the best way to provide real protection, not just a thin decal, but some impact protection and give it a beautiful premium look. I mean, it actually feels better in the hand just to have a little more of that width, and it's soft and grippy and just feels nice. And yet, you still get that beautiful midnight peeking through there. So, hey, if you want to pick this up, I'll put a link to it in the description below. I really love it. Peter Von Panda, out.
We can discover more and explore so much deeper.